In the magic time of the 1980s, in the golden age of home computers, the world was fresh and new. Innovations were everywhere, and there was so much we wanted to touch and own. Each year, something new, each year, more to discover. We were in the land of El Dorado. New brands flourished. There was no industry standards. The future was yet to be revealed, and everything was possible. But among the assortment of cool, shiny things, not all was accessible to us. For as far as I was concerned, almost nothing was within my humble grasp. All that I could do was imagine. If I couldn't get it, I could at least dream of it, and that was certainly something. What was the computer you dreamed of as a kid? Which was the machine you always wanted, but could never get? I'm not only talking about machines you saw from afar, on the cover of a magazine or in a TV ad, but never had a chance to try. I'm talking about those you had the opportunity to actually touch, to use, to enjoy, but only for a limited time, and which left you hungry for more. I'm talking about those that you knew well, but that weren't your own to power on every day as you wish, and to power off only when you had your fill. For some, it was the C64. For others, it was the Amiga. For me, it was the Atari ST. The machine many of my friends had. The machine I always wanted, but could never have. The machine which ran the games I loved the most. When the Atari ST came out in 1985, I was 10. At this time, in France, I had a friend with wealthy parents who owned a large, ancient apartment in Versailles, near the chateau. It was there that I saw the Atari ST for the first time. It was right there, in the middle of a room, proudly lying on 18th century wooden floors, a top-notch modern thing, surrounded by centuries-old antiques. Let's go for a trip down memory lane. I'll try to paint for you the most accurate picture, so far as I can remember, of this remarkable moment. Here is almost exactly what I saw. I recreated the background using the Adobe Firefly AI generator, and after several tries and adjustments, I came to a very satisfying result. This is the closest possible representation out of my memory. This exact kind of floor, the exact kind of color, same positioning of the machine, even the same game running. As far as I remember, the room was almost empty. Or maybe it's because my mind focused so much on the computer that I didn't notice anything else. The only difference is the display. This one is my SC1435, which was released about 5 years later. The machine I saw then had the standard color display, which was just a little smaller. For those who ask if the computer was created by AI, the answer is no. So far, I didn't see any AI that could generate something that resembles any real computer, like the ones we know and love. And it's incapable of rendering keyboards with perfectly aligned keys. A total mess. And it's a shame that a computer can't generate its own self-portrait. Anyway, here I was, and it was instant karma. I liked everything about this machine. Its case design with bold features for a computer of its time. Its mouse design still remains a reference to me. This beast of a computer seemed just perfect. And my lucky bastard of a friend was one of the first to get it. For context, you need to remember that the Atari ST was released at the same time as the Amiga 1000 in July '85. The Atari cost $800 with a color display. That was equivalent to about $2,500 today. These were luxury machines, just like the Macintosh. And by the way, it was also the first time I saw a Mac. In this same house, the father of this guy was using it for his work-at-home office. What a bunch of rich rascals. So there I was, gazing in awe at this wonder, enthroned in the middle of an antique room. I was immediately mesmerized. I think it was also the first time I saw a dedicated display, since the few computers I had until then used were all hooked to TV screens. And it was certainly the first time I saw a 3.5-inch floppy drive and discs. The Atari and the Macintosh were both using this brand new wonder, and it wasn't until another 5 years later that I saw that drive mounted as standard in our home PCs. In 1985, this format was really groundbreaking. Same thing for the mouse. I used it for the first time on both of these machines, in this room with a wooden floor. I was intrigued by the Macintosh, but its monochrome display was a little disappointing for the kid I was back then. It was a very different story with the Atari. It seemed to me there were so many colors on the screen that it was almost obscene. When I returned home and thought about what I saw, I wondered, did I really see that? Or was it a dream? At that time, I was used to machines with only 64K of RAM. The Atari 520 ST had, at minimum, 8 times that. There was one drawback, though: the joystick. The infamous Conic Speed King and Navigator were comfortable to handle, but the fire button was awful. After 5 minutes of intense shooting, your hand was really sore. This was either late 1985 or early 1986. After this memorable episode, as far as I can recall, I didn't have another opportunity to see this dream machine again for about a year. The guy with the cozy apartment was more an acquaintance than a real friend, and we usually didn't meet at home but played outside, so his wonderful computer remained a misty vision, with all its magic veiled in mystery. But in 1987, I had a new pal from school. We soon became close friends, and during all that year we always hung out together. Both of us were fantasy nerds, the only ones around who had read all the Tolkien books we could find. And, as chance had it, not long after we became pals, his parents replaced their old computer with an Atari ST. So, now, I could use that beast of a machine. Yes, in 1987 it was still a bloody beast, almost on a daily basis. Unlike the other guy, this one didn't have a luxury house. He had a normal one. And it was a time when computers hadn't yet secured their dedicated places in homes. People didn't really know where to put them, so that they could be found in rather odd places. In this case, it was a small space upstairs in the corridor between bedrooms. We could hardly seat ourselves in front of a tiny desk crammed between the stairs and the wall. But we didn't care, because it was in this uncomfortable lair that we spent the most enjoyable time playing Atari ST games. It was there that I discovered many of them: Arkanoid, Barbarian. Battle chess. Chaos strikes back. Civilization. Elite 2, Frontier. Leisure Suit Larry! Lemmings. Loom. Monkey Island. populace. Prince of Persia. R-Type. Xenon 2. And it seemed like each game was better than the last. So many times I thought to myself, that's it, this one is the very best and will stay so. It's just impossible to do better. But each time there was a better one. Defender of the Crown. Captain Blood. I just couldn't understand how so many killer games were possible. Until one day. I saw the one. This one would indeed remain forever my favorite game. That game is Dungeon Master. It was everything I could wish. A fantasy world, but a realistic first-person experience. I was into role-playing games, and this was the king of them all. It was so fantastic that it was beyond words to describe my emotions. I was beside myself when playing it. There's so much to say about this game. I don't know where to begin. What I can say for sure is that it was always impersonated, but never equaled. Neither by its own sequels, Chaos Strikes Back, Dungeon Master 2, this one was a complete disaster by the way, nor by the many Dungeon Master clones developed elsewhere. Some were really good, but none came close to the original. In a nutshell, this game crafted an entire genre, just like SimCity or Civilization. But in this case, it was also the genre I liked the most. And even beyond that, this game had something very special. Something you can feel rather than describe, and that you find only in the most outstanding works. There's so much to say about this game, but this particular video focuses on nostalgia, not technical details. That's also why we don't enter too much into details about the Atari ST itself. These have already been extensively covered by people with better technical knowledge than me, so I have nothing to add. But I do have many things to say about the Dungeon Master part. Because here, it's the opposite. I think that not enough solid reviews have been published, and there's still need for a definitive video about this very special game that, in my opinion, doesn't get all the credit it deserves on YouTube. I already made a few videos dedicated to Dungeon Master on this channel about creatures, items, spells, and this game's incredible copy protection system, which was the most advanced back then. I've been working for several months on a very ambitious project. I'm in the process of filming the entire walkthrough of all 13 levels, sitting in front of my actual Atari ST, with cameras pointed at different angles. So this won't be just another emulator video, as is so popular on YouTube. This is no emulation. This is the real deal. Original software on original hardware. And, as far as I know from YouTube, this video should be unique. But what directly concerns the video that you're watching now is that Dungeon Master originated on the Atari ST. It was such a success that it was soon ported to all possible computers, but we need to remember that it was first developed on the ST. The fact that the king of games was a pure ST product is a matter of pride for this machine. It's also pretty much because of this that the Atari ST has always been very special to me. I have 4 Atari STs now, 2 520s and 2 1040s. I take great care of them and they are all in perfect working order. I played many awesome games during the past 4 decades, many legendary ones as well. But to me, Dungeon Master always remained the one game. Just like Tolkien remained the one writer, no matter how many outstanding other authors I've read before or since. It's a matter of feeling more than of rational being. And just like so, for me, the Atari ST remains the one computer.